Hey everybody, how's it going? I wanted to make another video going over some things a lot of people have been reaching out to me about, and that's over time management and executing each and every day. So today we're on the board so you guys could see what my process is and how I'm going through it, as well as if you were writing it down or what you need to do, the steps, it's all right here. Okay, so today I want to talk about the first step into any time management piece. Anything that you're doing, you have to either get a planner or use an app. Now I use an app personally. I also have planners for goals and things like that, but the app usually seems to be the easiest way, most convenient way for a lot of people. And you can either do it through Google. They have it syncs to every account, if you're on your computer, your phone, different phones, like it's always there for you. And you can have multiple calendars for different businesses. Like you can have a business calendar set up, and then like a personal. They can sync it and all be on one, so you kind of know what is what. But you can do a ton of different things that way. Now that's what I use. I use an app just because it makes it more convenient, and I always have it on me, my phone. And sometimes I forget my journal or forget my planner with all that kind of stuff. So I think that's the easiest way. So if you don't have one, I feel like you gotta kind of work your way that way to getting yourself organized. Because what tends to happen is we have schedules that aren't full. So what I mean by that is if you look at your schedule, you'll have like a meeting here at 9 a.m., you have lunch, and then you have like a meeting probably around 4:30, and then home with family or hanging out with friends later that night, right? And that's your schedule for the day. So what I want you to see is all those gaps, all that white space in between, right? Okay, say you go to work from 8 to 5. What about before work? What about after? Right? What are you doing there? Okay, and also too, I might even ask you, what are you doing on your downtime where you're kind of just relaxing or chilling at work? Because you're being productive about whatever else you're trying to do. So, but what I want to address is just the times either before work or after work, or if you're an entrepreneur or you're whatever and you have a lot of free schedule to kind of make it yourself, then I'm addressing kind of your whole schedule. So the first step is fill it up. What I mean by that is I want you to fill up all the way, like minute by minute, hour by hour, for the whole day. So everything's accounted for. So you know exactly where your time's going. You see, it's so easy for us to step into that calendar I explained at the beginning of meeting here at 9 a.m., lunch, meeting at 4:30, and then, well, I see what happens later with friends or with family. Like, right? That's how we typically live our days. But if we're after these dreams, these goals, these visions that we have for ourselves, that's not going to cut it, right? That's not going to work, because if we look at our life and we literally copied that day for every single day of this year, are we going to be able to reach the goals that we had? No, because we're leaving up to chance. So one practical way and a tool we can use is calendar to keep ourselves going, to keep ourselves reminded of what is going on. Even you might even throw reminders in there to keep yourself throughout the day. I know the iPhone has it. I know Android, I'm assuming, does as well, where you can set reminders to remind you of certain things throughout the day that you need to work on at certain times of your schedule so you don't forget. Right? The whole point of this app and writing things down is so we don't forget. We have busy lives. We have things pop up, and sometimes the calendar changes. It's not a set in stone thing, but it gives you a guidance, right? Same way in life. You want to write goals. You want to have all that kind of stuff for your life so you know what direction to take. You know what direction to go. For if you just woke up and said, oh, we'll see what happens, you'd understand that that's not the right way of going about life itself. So why do we go about that way in our scheduling, in our planners, and how we do and orchestrate our days? So that's first step. Second is try to do it in advance. This is a tip or a tool someone really gave me a while back, and it helped me tremendously. And that is, if you can schedule your days in advance, so either it's the night before, that's where I started. Like the night before, going into the next day, I would schedule certain things that I wanted to do that day, and then I literally created an Excel document. It's easier if you just buy a planner or use the app, honestly, and look at the day you have and start filling in when you could do those things you want to get done tomorrow. Because you already know the gaps, right? And the reason this is important is because in the actual day, we run into like the feeling of that being draggy from work, or we wake up in the morning, it's like, man, I really don't feel like doing whatever it is I have put on my list, right? Say it's trying to work out, right? In the morning you wake up, it's like, oh yeah, that was a long night last night and I don't feel like doing anything. So see how easy it is to slip into those feelings and just go right back to bed? So if we write that out, we have those schedule, we kind of have an idea. So when we wake up, we already know what we're expecting, not trying to leave it up to chance and see if we feel like it. Because if we can make a decision before our feelings hit, then that decision can produce feelings on the back end. instead of changing the course of the actual decision. So if you can do it in advance, right? So, and when you schedule in advance, schedule it, and when you do it in advance, then schedule it by priority. So put literally, okay, this is what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna schedule it, and you're probably gonna write all the things that probably come into your mind that may not be the first or most thing that on the priority list. It's not number one, because usually the thing on number one is kind of takes the most time, and it's more challenging, it requires more thought and more energy, right? But we want to get that one done. We want to put that one first, knock that out first, the meeting first, do whatever it is first, so that you know, okay, I got that done. That was the big thing that needed to get done. And it doesn't matter if I got my laundry done, if I needed to really execute on a business meeting or a business call or whatever, do that first. And if you don't have time for the laundry, then okay, we can move that till tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? So make sure you focus on putting the priorities in line when you're scheduling it in advance. And do it by hourly. Maybe you'll probably get down to the minute, but at least do it by hourly of trying to put those things in there to help you kind of stay focused on what your goal is for that day, for that week, and for that month. And now I have another video which I talked about like the power of goals and how breaking them down from like your yearly goals to the monthly goals and then to the weekly goals, and then obviously making each day line up with that week. And so that's important. If you've already done that, you listen to that video, then from there you just take those goals that you wrote out and make them kind of align with your day-to-days, right? So from the day-to-day, make sure you do this by priority. It's so easy to slip into doing the thing that's most convenient, right? As I always say, success is not convenient, okay? So focus on this because it's really easy to slip out of that. 2, when you're dealing with time management or anything scheduling, it is all about attitude, right? You all know those people where when they have something on the schedule and they're constantly, like they're literally there, they're at the event they wanted to be at, but they're constantly thinking about everything else, right? The power of a schedule is that you have a clear set plan. You don't have to be thinking about all this other stuff because you've already done that before that moment. So when you schedule something, you can actually be there in the moment, not trying to figure out what else is going on today. How am I going to make this meeting work? I've already planned that out the night before or the week before or whatever, how much time you need to do. So you get to literally be present in the moment. Because life is short, guys. Like life goes by so quick. We grow up so fast. We meet people literally in an instant. We may not meet again, or we meet people in an instant where we can develop a relationship that may last a lifetime. But we have to be in the moment and be present to even encounter any of those things. So scheduling allows us to have a guidance for our moments so that we can truly be there and not have to be so many other places that miss what was actually should be achieved in that very moment. So with that being said, you have to be excited about it. When you're writing these, when you're filling up the schedule and all that kind of stuff, put things down that excite you, right? Some of those things that are maybe first on the priority list may not be exciting, but they have to get done. But fill the rest of your schedule with things that excite you, that you want to do, so that it causes you to keep moving forward and like, oh yeah, I want to do it. And you kind of get a lot of things you've been wanting to get done, they actually get done because you wrote them down, you put them in the schedule. It makes you... You're probably asking, okay, well, I already know I need to do this. It's going to take me more time to put in the calendar. But in reality, in those moments, we get so caught up in life and go, we forget. And then we look back a week later and we're like, dang, I wanted to do that this week and I don't have time this next week, and it just keeps getting pushed back. So if we can write it and put it down in stone or on that paper or in a phone and an app, then it makes all the difference. And it keeps ourselves accountable and reminds us of the things that were important to us, right? We want it to be exciting because it's important to us. That's like I alluded to earlier, one task at a time. If we do one task at a time, not trying to be everywhere at once, it allows us to be in the moment, to be present. Nobody likes someone that's talking to you and they're thinking like, okay, like, or even worse, like they're talking to you, staring at you, but they're thinking about everything and you can tell they're not even listening to you and they're thinking about something else. Like that, no one likes that person. No one wants to be that person. A lot of times it just happens because so many things are happening and it's just, honestly, they probably forgot, they mismanaged their time and they didn't schedule correctly. But no one wants to be that person. So if you allow yourself to schedule ahead of the day, right? So schedule the night before or whatever, it allows you to go to the next day knowing, okay, I have this amount of time. Hey man, I got 5 minutes, but you get to give your undivided attention to that 5 minutes rather than 10 minutes of literally just staring at them and have no idea, not listening because you're thinking about so many other different things, okay? And lastly, this is one of the biggest points. is don't mistake these tasks that you're creating for your day, right? That's why it's so important to put it by priority, because a lot of times we get caught thinking about tasks and we get caught like checking the boxes, and it's exciting to check all these boxes off. Look at these 30 things I did today. What my question to you would be, did they matter? Were they things that mattered? Were they things that made a difference? Did they move you forward? Did they move your business forward? Did they help you create whatever you're after, help you achieve your dream, your goal, whatever it may be? Or were they just checked boxes, right? So don't mistake tasks for execution. It's so easy to step into that as well, to get checking these boxes and keep going and going and going and think you're having productive days. Productivity and checked boxes is not the same thing. So don't mistake those things for executing on what you said you want to execute on, because at the end of the week or the end of the year, you're going to be really upset that you didn't meet your goals but you'll think, man, I was so busy. My day was full all the time, but was it full of the right things? So I hope this challenges you. Hope this helps you get a lot of your scheduling in order. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll do my best to answer these. But a lot of people have been asking about how I manage my time and what I do and how I do it and all that kind of stuff. So I thought I'd make a video just talking about how to make the most of your time and how to use scheduling to your advantage, instead of, because like I said multiple times in this video already, we live busy lives. We have lots of stuff going on. And when we have families, when we have kids, when we have friends, our parties we have to attend and all that kind of stuff, then it gets even more hectic with business, and then we get called by a business person to meet with them, and then we're trying to juggle all of this. But we got to start using this thing in our hand, this phone, to really use, like I said, use it to our advantage. It threw me off that I don't have my phone in my hand, so I was like, my phone. But if we can use these apps, these tools for us, then it can make life so much easier, and we can get so much more done in the same amount of time that we thought we didn't have any time in, right? So hope this challenges you and encourages you at the same time. So much love, and see you guys soon.